So what is the combined age of the Rolling Stones? It's a whopping 257.
That's right, the Rolling Stones are all born in the 1940s. Charlie Watts in 41, Jagger and Richards in 43, Ronnie Wood, the youngster, born in 1947. But first, Too Old to Rock and Roll, which is a Jethro Tull song. If you're really old and like your rock and roll, you'll know that. What I'm asking really is there a time when every ageing rocker should really put the guitar away, hang up the microphone? I've picked on Sir Paul McCartney this morning. He's 66 now. The world, of course, was divided as to whether he or John was the best-looking Beatle, and even now it's a good debate. But today, well, as we've heard, Macca's playing a massive gig in Israel tonight, but the fans really want to watch a slightly sad-looking, orange-haired old man run through his hits one more time. Wouldn't you rather remember him as he was, when he was happy with Linda, say, than humiliated by, what's her name? He's not the only one who doesn't know when to call it a day. Sir Cliff's still soldiering on. Early this month, the sprightly 68-year-old achieved his dream of scoring a top 10 hit in 5 successive decades, when Thank You for a Lifetime entered the charts at number 3, disappeared without a trace the following week. But wouldn't you rather remember him as Britain's answer to Elvis? And then there's the Rolling Stones. Have they done one tour too many? I saw the Rolling Stones about 15 years ago. They were fantastic. They're still good now, but there's just an edge going. And we were just talking during the break, Ed, about Led Zeppelin. And Led Zeppelin were fantastic. Yep. But hand on heart, as someone who saw them as Page and Plant on 2 previous tours, they were better as Plant and Page were better then than they are now because they were a bit younger.
Well, I saw Paul McCartney play the Roundhouse, part of the Electric Bombs last year. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Obviously...
Bit orangey?
Obviously an intimate venue, me and Paul just looking into each other's eyes. He was great, he was funny, he had great rapport with the crowd, the very young crowd, so I think that's great. I last saw
that you point at me when you say very young.
Very young, good-looking crowd, and Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Orange.
And,
is it not just a little perverse?
And also, you put me off, Addy. I was in my stride there.
Sorry.
Rolling Stones, I last saw them about 15 years ago. But, I mean, Mick Jagger's about 25 times fitter than I am.
But this time round, the photos, he just... I don't know.
What is it you object to?
I guess what I object to, it's a bit like watching a midlife crisis in front of your eyes. Men who should know better pretending to be younger than they are.
Do you think it's a reflection of yourself?
Yes.
Do you think it is? No, well, I think that's true. I mean, because you see people the same age as you think, oh, they're getting old, and then you realise, oh, my God, well, maybe I'm looking old as well, which is sadly probably the truth. Maybe there's something just going on there.
I think it's a reflection and a good thing, because I obviously... as is being increasingly obvious during the course of this programme, haven't grown up. And I still think I'm about 15, so I can't get my head around being 40. And it's very comforting to know, with Mick Jagger on stage, that I've still got 23 years in which I could become an international rock star. So that is very... It's not all over it. And if you put in a rule that, you know, you had to retire at 35 being an international rock star, that would shatter a lot of dreams.
It's the memories.
From my point of view, his fans grow older with them, so maybe he's got 65-year-old fans who were with them all the way through it, and for them...
It is
what do you mean, You're going to be the voice of common sense, really.
From my point of view, I mean, in one respect is quite interesting because I've never seen any of these guys before, slightly before my time. So I would like to see Led Zeppelin for the first time and the Rolling Stones. So it'd be a totally new experience for me. But yeah, that.
But are you going to see them when you if that was to happen? Are you going to get what the original fans got first time round? This amazing sensation of seeing something, or are you actually going to see a slightly diluted, not quite as edgy, faded glory, really?
Well, obviously not. It's never going to be as good as the first time, is it? But I think it's also, maybe it's a slight indictment in society when, well, in the way that we like everyone who's on TV to be young looking. I think, you know, we want everyone to be...
More 43-year-olds on TV.
We don't want no old fogies on TV.
What I would say is I take my hat off to the old rockers, because at least they do try and look the part. I mean, I think Paul McCartney looks absolutely... fantastic, despite your attempts to disparage it. What really depressed me going to the Led Zeppelin gig was how many late middle-aged, worse-for-wear men were wandering around.
I was waiting to see what was
going on. Of course, for us, we've got Oasis.
What you haven't even realised is Paul McCartney is here, but he's camouflaged by the desk. That's what you haven't even noticed.
I tell you what, I wouldn't want to see the Pussycat Dolls in 40 years.
Let's throw it open to you. Too old to rock and roll. Let's hear what you have to say.
OK, let's go to Nikki from Scotland on line 1.
Morning, Nikki.
Good morning.
Good morning. Am I onto something here?
Pardon?
Am I onto something here? Should some older rock stars quit?
No, I don't think they should at all. I recently went to the 40th anniversary tour of Jethro Tull and they completely blew me away.
40th anniversary.
Yeah.
Did he stand on one leg or did he need support?
Indeed, and he didn't miss a note.
He didn't miss. That's the wonderful Ian Anderson, been on this show. Fantastic guy. Glad to hear it. Hawkwind, of course. I mean, Dave Brock, he'll kill me for saying this. He's 125 years old, looks about 20. Thank you for the call. Let's have another.
OK, let's go to 57-year-old David on line 2.
Ah, David, good morning.
Good morning, Matthew.
57, still rocking?
Yes, actually, and I'm a musician, and I would not be doing anything else.
Are you rocking as a musician?
Well, I've actually diversified. I'm still boogieing away on certain gigs, but in recent years, I've started conducting orchestras, and I also teach.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're an old man. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Let's we want rock stars. Classical. We're doing rock and roll.
OK, let's go to Rod on line 3.
OK. Good morning. What's the name?
Oh, it's Rod Matthew.
All right, Rod. How are you doing, mate?
I'm fine, mate. You?
Does there come a time when certain rock stars should pack it in?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what. I'm a gigging musician. I'm 50 years old. I like to think I look younger. There are people in the village I live in who are 10 years younger than me who act 10 years older.
Yeah.
Exactly, people like me.
And I will never retire. They'll have to prize my guitar from my cold, dead hands.
Well, I hope that never has to happen. I mean, I'm being serious. Paul McCartney, wouldn't you rather remember him in his prime?
Well, no. You know, he's still got fans that love him. So as long as he's got the fan base, let him carry on. Yeah. I mean, when we play a gig, if we play any old Beatles stuff, everyone goes mad.
Yeah, it's great. They're great tunes. But you just said old Beatles stuff, not Frog Chorus.
Well, there's old people about, you know, who like old, you know...
You're missing the point. I agree with you. The music from the golden years, as in the early years, was fantastic. Frog Chorus, mid to late Paul McCartney. Flaming Pie. I mean, who would call an album Flaming Pie?
This is true, but then on the other hand, I mean, you know, if people are still going to see Sugar Babes when they're 50 or 60,
they won't, mate.
That is sexist.
I'll bet you my house, Rod. I'll bet you my house.
Sexism.
But I bet you my house.
Sugar Babes,
no, I'm not saying because they're girls. It's just as a for instance.
Right, but you said the Sugar Babes, so we're going to stick with that one,
anyway,
Rod, because that's what we're going to
These gigs can be quite dangerous because the women don't throw their knickers on the stage anymore, they throw their teeth. So they've got a bit of an edge. There's a bit of an edge there when you go to those gigs. You've got to, you know...
Some false dentures in your head.
OK. A bit of fun. And I'm sure Paul will have great fun in Tel Aviv tonight. After the break.